Thank you. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to shortly present myself and present the Masa Tech program. Um, so first of all, again, my name is Ilya. I'm the Masa Tech program director at Go Startup Nation. If you have any questions, you'll have my email in the end. Feel free just to email me with any question. So first of all, what is Massatech? Massatech is a unique program by Masa, run by us, by Go Startup Nation, with the main goal of having amazing programmers and engineers come to Israel and work in Israeli companies. This is a unique Masa program because we actually think ourselves to help people to relocate to Israel for at least 10 months to work, to experience Israel, to get a salary, and basically work in Israel. Um, what are the requirements? Who is eligible for the program? As you can see, you need to have a college degree with computer science experience. The age, you can be from 21 to 40. We are looking for experienced people in the computer science world. If you are a backend developer, if you work in UX, just talk to us. We'll find you a position in Israel, and all of those professions are available. And if you're not sure, again, feel free and message me, and we'll see if you can fit with the program. You need to have some experience. You can be with 2 years or 10 years, it doesn't really matter. We'll find the position that will suit you in Israel. We work with all sort of companies, from small startups with only 5 people and huge international companies like Microsoft and Waze and more. So what the program is all about? Basically, as I said, it's a relocation program. You'll come to Israel, you can work for 2 years or even more. You'll get a salary, you'll be as any other Israeli employee. We'll also give you Hebrew Pan if you need so, if you know, just know a few words in Hebrew, or your Hebrew is very, very good. You can have an easier Pan, it really depends on you. Another cool thing about the program is that we guarantee the placement, and the whole screening process happens from your home. You don't have to buy your ticket. You'll know where you're going to work before you come to Israel. You can choose where you want to work, what industry in the high tech that you want to work in. And it's really, really awesome. And I will help you find the job that you really want to do. Of course, we'll also have personal professional development. You'll know Israel. We'll have some awesome trips around Israel. You'll meet, again, during the COVID times, probably online, but you meet Israelis who work in the high-tech industry. Israel is the startup nation, and this is the place to be. So you'll have professional development that you can take home with you. The program itself is fully funded. All you need to do is pay the registration fee and the price for your ticket to Israel. Nothing else. Your housing will be covered at some point in the beginning. And all you need to do is apply and say, I wanna live and work in Israel. What we're gonna do? We're gonna do sort of screening again. It's all gonna be happening via Zoom with the companies, with us. We'll help you to do the interviews in Israel. You'll have multiple interviews with multiple companies. After you get accepted into the position, again, everything is remotely. We'll start the orientation in Israel. You'll be in the Ulpan. You'll have your daily expenses covered. You'll have your housing, basically an easy transition to do relocation to Israel. And after that time, you'll start working as a full employee in the company. If the company will be working remotely, you will find somewhere you can work. Some companies in Israel, again, during COVID times, are slowly beginning to bring people to work. Again, if you work in hardware, of course, you'll be working from the office. We'll make sure that you immerse into the Startup Nation ecosystem, and we'll do our best to find the position that you are interested in, and we'll find great people for the companies. So this is my email. It's ilya@gostartupnation.com. You can apply now at gostartupnation.com. Any question, anything you want to ask, feel free. If you're not sure about your position, when we start the cohorts and everything you can think of, you can ask me. Just one more minute about the COVID times. Of course, it's scary, like in Israel and everywhere else in the world. Nothing is certain, but I can say that Masa participants continue to come to Israel and work in Israel, and you have unique skills that Israelis don't have, and you'll learn from Israel about the startup nation, how we work, how we think. It's a great opportunity despite or in spite those interesting times, I think. And it's a great opportunity to have your skills broaden and just learn more and live in Israel and to get to know Israel. And that's it. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer. Yeah.
Yeah, is there anything you would like to add about the program or any other insight that you could give?
I can say that we're going to open the first cohort in around February and then in May. Again, the screening process will start quite soon. So if you have your CV ready and you want to work, let me just go back to the positions. If you worked in those positions before, or you are interested in learning, or it's somewhere in the high-tech industry, we're happy to help, happy to find a position for you and match great candidates. What we do, we match top-tier candidates with great Israeli companies that they are in the front of everything, and in Israel they're starting to test I think it's one shot for the coronavirus this week, and I know that Masa participants are taking part in those companies. So I think it's an amazing opportunity to be in Israel, to be in the startup nation, and just need to come and work and also have fun. That's also very important for us.
Yes, I would just like to emphasize what Ilya said. This is basically a professional program. It is very different than any other Masa program. That is why it's open for participants through the age of 40, not 30, like other Masa programs. It is fully covered by Masa and the Israeli government. So basically, we help you relocate and find a job as developers here in Israel, in Israel's best tech companies. And it's like Ilya said, it's a great opportunity if you wish to advance your career, if you wish to try to get a sense, a closer sense of what does it mean to work in the Israeli ecosystem. This is a great opportunity for you. It's a professional program. That's the sole purpose of this program. It's not an internship. It's a full-time paid job in Israel.
Thank you very much, Yael. Any questions in the crowd?
if anyone has any questions, please feel free to either pop them in the chat or in the Q&A. If anyone has anything they'd like to ask.
Let me just, I'm going to write my email here as well, so it's going to be easier in the chat. What kind of questions you had before? Maybe I can address them as Masa Tech. Maybe people were looking for positions or.
Well, one in the previous one in regards to the particular streams of like there were different streams of the actual coding. I don't know much about technology, so I'm sorry, I'm not very great to ask. But just I don't know, like maybe do you want to give? We've only got a couple more minutes. But maybe just even like what a day in the life would be. A day in the life would be like for maybe a program, like how it'd be. Let's say even making your own food and all that sort of stuff. So just a day in the life type vibe. Like what would that entail?
Of course. So if you would ask me, let's say around 8 months ago, I would say Israeli companies are amazing, and some companies you have your own chef, and you can come to work at 10 o'clock in the morning and leave at 7, and the life around high tech in Israel is also amazing. Companies in Tel Aviv are world famous, if it's Waze or even Intel from Jerusalem. Today in the world, a lot of companies do work remotely. If it's international companies with R&D centers in Israel, follow the trend of working remotely. However, because of most of Israeli companies are, let's say, on the smaller, medium size, they do have people come back to the office if they want, with all the perks of PlayStation and private chef and so forth, even during those times. And I really believe that Israel have a great opportunity of coming back from this COVID kind of mess back to reality. Again, every company tries to do it best with all of the restrictions. And I believe that really Israel is in the forefront of working remotely, adapting to work remotely. So if a programmer will, sit in Tel Aviv or in some on his house in Jerusalem, he'll be able to work and communicate with the company, and also to get, if it's trips sometimes or professional development. It really depends on the companies and companies in Israel. I know that are best in the world of just getting their workers and their basically the people in the company to the front. So going back to the question, how would the day look like? It's really impossible to say. It really depends on the company. Again, some companies in Israel work international, so you might work with companies in the US, so you start later in the day, but it's really kind of depends on you and depends on the company.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I think we're at the end of the session. And if anyone does have any questions, I've popped the email address of Ilya there in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, I'll just make sure. Yeah, there don't seem to be anything. Any other questions? So I've popped his email address there in the chat function. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask Ilya or Yael. Thank you both so much for your time. We really appreciate your time. And hope you have a really nice day.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.